Again folks, and welcome back to this week's video. So as you can tell by my very fetching Fallout Christmas jumper, it is very much starting to look that way, that Christmas is on the way. And for me, I like to have a good sort out in the games before the Christmas chaos ensues. As a collector, I'm sure many of you know things will pile up and storage is always at a small amount. You always have more stuff than you have space for, and the big thing is keeping your games room neat. Luckily, I have a storage cupboard in the side of my games room. But the thing is, it's absolutely chock-a-block, and I want to move all this excess stuff into that cupboard. Which means I'm going to be deep diving into my collection today in another episode of my crazy collection, which I'm calling The Cupboard of Doom. So basically there is a lot of stuff stored in there, but I reckon it's going to be some really cool things to look at this time. So guys, I don't think I'm the only one here who has storage problems when it comes to their games room. As you can see, we can barely even get to the cupboard as it stands at the moment. So the plan is to try and clear all of this stuff, sort through it, find some doubles, and then get the games room back to tip-top shape. Now it's time to clear a bit of stuff. I'm starting to find some of the weirdest stuff I've kind of forgot I've never spoke to you guys about. The first of which is this shield from Skyrim. This is one of the most random things I think I've ever picked up off Facebook Marketplace. Literally a replica shield from Skyrim. Something I have no idea what to do with, but I've never let it out of my grasp. One thing I really seem to have a problem with is the large boxes that collector's editions come in, and just kind of the boxes for various things I pick up. I don't know if it's because I'm a bit of a completist or just generally insane, but I like to kind of keep all of these boxes, even though if you look at the size of the space they take up, you can really see they do take a lot of space. But for me, I'm a completionist, so you know, like with the Gears of War 3 Epic Edition and that copy of that massive box down there, which is the name I've just forgotten, they really do take up a lot of space, but it's just finding a way to store them. So this box may just look like a standard boring box. It's actually the original shipping box for the ZX Spectrum Plus 2. And inside I do have a boxed copy of that console. It is a little bit bashed, but if you look at this side, it is in amazing condition for a console that is probably older than me. So this isn't actually in working condition, but it's just incredible just having that amazing artwork, having it in the collection. One day I will get this repaired, we'll be back playing with the game. So this here is the problem. As soon as I think, oh, I haven't seen that for a while, then I have to plug it in and start playing with it, and we get lovely noises like this. Okay, so we come to one of our first kind of cool boxes. There's a lot of random bits in here, but we do have a Game Boy Color, which inside does have Pokemon Yellow. So this is actually a gift I got my wife a couple of years back. We're on a real Pokemon kick. Also now we have the clear Game Boy Color. I think that was her original one when she was very young. And we have quite a few other incredibly rare games in here, such as Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Gold. So I think one of the things with Game Boy games, I don't really know where to put them. A majority of the time, so they normally just get stuck in the back of the cupboard, which is always cool coming across the box like this one. Carrying on the Game Boy theme, we have a load of loose kind of Game Boy DS cartridges, and we have another ice cream tub, which I do know is full of Game Boys and such. This again is my wife's original Game Boy. You can tell how much she loved this thing. I think it'd be really cool one day to get this back up into working condition. Definitely get that kind of fade off it. We have another Game Boy Color in there. I don't really know why we have so many Game Boy Colors, as well as we have Game Gear games, Guitar Hero on Tour, as well as loads and loads of loose games. I think they're some of the best ones. We have a Yoshi's Island DS hidden in there. As I said, I think one of my problems, and hold up, we have Pokemon Emerald version. So yeah, definitely worth digging around in the old Game Boy games. You do find some cool stuff. Here we have another big cardboard box to go through, and a lot of these boxes are full of third-party controllers. It's one of those things, you can never have enough controllers, but as I said, space is at a premium for those. Some of the more random stuff in here, we have a loose copy of Crash Bandicoot 2. That will definitely be going up on eBay. Make a couple of quid for the gaming fun with that one. As well in here, we have light guns. You know I love as many light guns as possible. We have a pair in here for the Sega Saturn, as well as tons of leads. But yeah, this is what is cool about going through the stuff you haven't seen in years. We have random stuff such as memory cards for the PlayStation PSP, still in the box. Other random controllers in the box. This PlayStation Cyberpad, very odd. Something you definitely would not see these days. Cheap cartridge memory cards. Again, look at some of the games you get the save states for on there. I think this is one of the more random ones. A PSX chip card. Is that the kind of things you could play, those copied games back in the day? Let me know in the comments below. And some other random sealed bits in here, like a USB connector for the PlayStation PSP. So again, you can put your films on your PSP. Some really random stuff again in this box, but we're just getting started digging into the cupboard. As most of you know who watch the channel, I have a lot of my consoles plugged in, set up at all times, ready to go. But I do have a lot of boxes of consoles I'm storing I'm not using presently. So in this box we have the very strange, slim PlayStation 2. Never really a fan of this one, I'm always more of a fan of the big fat boy. Speaking of, we have a PlayStation 3 in here. So this is the one that always had the kind of weird slidey bit at the top. I think this is also the incredibly pointless 12GB model. But yeah, definitely once again, I think I've got multiple of these. I think I actually have one of these plugged in. The other one's the much bigger version. This is the 12GB model. Then we have a black Wii. So again, this was my wife's. I kind of prefer the white Wii because obviously on top you have the kind of bit where you can open up and plug in your GameCube controllers. Then this is one of the more random ones I ever found at a car boot. This blue shell for the Sony PlayStation 1. So it's actually very sun damaged. You can see in there. It was a lot nicer inside. I think looking back, this probably is just kind of something that somebody has sprayed up. But it's kind of one of those weird things I like to keep in my collection. And then I have my very original Xbox 360. This was the one I actually had from about launch. It even has the thing on the back so we can connect to Xbox Live wirelessly. Today I mainly use the more up-to-date one, which has the HDMI collection, but I just can't bring myself to get rid of the original OG Xbox 360. Next box, we have quite a random item. So we have this screen for the PlayStation 2. So this would sit on top of your PS2 console. You'd be able to play it in the car on the go as it connected to the car's cigarette lighter. Lots of different controllers in here. We have the standard black Xbox 360 controller. We have the Halo Reach Special Edition Xbox 360 controller. PlayStation 3 red 6-axis. The thing is with these, a lot of these controllers do go wrong, so I do need to test all of these PlayStation 3 controllers. And we are starting to get into some of the colours of N64 controllers. So we have a red, a blue, and a green. One thing I would like to do is get all the basic controller colours for the N64. I think there's about 5 or 6, but if somebody knows, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay, I think we're on to the last box of controllers. Obviously, one thing you'll always have is loads of Wii and Wii accessories, which I will come back to later in the video. We have the Wii U controller. This is definitely one I think is going to be a real pain to get down the line. Also, we have a multi-tap for the PlayStation 1. Again, if you have a PlayStation 1, you are going to need a multi-tap so you can play with your friends. And of course, one of the most important things to have is some GameCube controllers, because you cannot play Smash Bros without them. Well, you can, but you don't want to use the best one. Here we have one of the last cool boxes then, and we have a Commodore 64. And somewhere hidden inside under all of these cassettes, yes kids, games did used to come on cassettes, we have the main console. So I think this one is all working. It does have the tape deck, but you can see here, I think this is one of the reasons this one is not plugged in, as it has a slightly damaged wire. A lot of stuff like this kind of goes by the by and never gets replaced, so one day we'll get a new wire for this one. I'll be using the Commodore 64. Once again, listening to those tapes load up. Here is a question for all you true gamers out there. Can you really consider yourself a gamer or having a Gamesroom if you do not have a box of random leads and wires I have no idea what most of these do, but you know, I'm never going to be able to bring myself to throw any of these out, so it's always good to have a box full of random wires. So unbeknownst to me, I have left the worst for last, but I need to ask you folks, I cannot be the only person who is absolutely inundated with random accessories for the Wii. We have sleeves, we have wheels, we have weird controller handles, we have pink leads, we have brackets. Seriously, I don't know how I build up all this stuff. I just can't get myself to throw it away, but it's just literally boxes of this weird Wii shovelware material stuff. When it comes to Gamesroom, obviously space is somewhat of a commodity. You only have so much space, and sometimes difficult decisions need to be made. So sometimes you cannot keep everything. And basically, I have to sometimes think what means the most to me. And it's things like, I have this giant box of PC games, but they just don't have the same connection to me as, say, N64 games or even PlayStation 2 games. Don't get me wrong, you have some classics in here, like the Old Republic, like Diablo 3. Games are really good, but the thing is, I don't PC game too often, and even if I do, it's normally either on GOG or Steam. The other thing in my collection I am considering getting rid of is VHS tapes. I know they're kind of cool, I do like the retro aesthetic, but they take a lot of space up, and I have to be honest with myself, if I'm going to watch a film, do I really want to watch a VHS? Normally, when I'm looking for films, I'm looking higher quality, but these are difficult decisions. So let me know, guys, is there parts of your collection which you've had to let go of? Let me know in the comments down below. There we have it then, folks. A little bit of a different video this week. A little bit of a look behind the scenes. I hope you did enjoy it. It was a bit random, and definitely next week we'll be back to more normal kind of goings on in the life of a gamer. But it's always good to see behind the scenes of the game room and really the kind of work that goes into making it how it is. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a thumbs up if you did. Remember to subscribe for new videos every Saturday. And as always, keep playing the game. See you soon.